I'm still sick, and it sucks. I've been sick since episode 2 of this podcast, and that was over a month ago.
I was
So,
sick, I believe, in between episodes.
you lucky duck. I've had to record with a
I
stuffy
know.
nose the past 5 episodes.
Actually, I
or no,
I
3,
think I
but-
recorded once when I was sick, but I didn't know I was sick. I just was feeling really tired, and I assumed I just wasn't getting enough sleep, but I had mono, so.
Well, if you didn't sound like you were sick, then the podcast, it doesn't matter, right? So,
That's right. I shouldn't have even mentioned it.
Nope.
You know what? I
No.
am in perfect health. I always am.
always, 100% of the time, perfect health, 10 out of 10. Let's start the show. So, the first thing, you know what? I want to just talk about something. I want to talk about spam. And when you hear spam, what's the first thing you think of?
I think of a big, wet block of canned meat.
Yes, that is what we will be discussing. That and spam emails and messages, which is another thing I want to
I was
talk
gonna
about.
say the other thing is when sticky keys comes up on my
Oh my
computer
gosh.
when I spam the space bar playing Minecraft 4 years ago.
Oh my, sticky keys was the worst. It always happened when I was pressing shift and playing Minecraft. It's a Minecraft thing, guaranteed. But has anybody ever actually used sticky keys? No. No one.
No.
No one
I have
uses
never
sticky
heard
keys.
of anyone who's like, yes, as a writer, I use sticky keys all the time. It is the most useful tool Windows has ever implemented.
It's the best innovation since Internet Explorer. So if you use sticky keys, listener, tell me, and I will pray for you. Okay. So now that we're back from sticky keys, let's talk about spam as in the meat. I've never had it. Have you had it?
No, but I have a really good, like, kind of... I can imagine in my mouth what it would taste like. It's not too pleasant. It's a bit like sardines, but instead of fish, it'd be like ham.
Yeah.
Is kind of how it is. Like,
But you've
a
never
little,
had
like,
this.
The texture of canned fish, but it's like
It's the texture of
old,
canned
like,
meat.
pot roast
because
ham.
that's what it is. Kind of.
Have you ever seen a canned chicken, like where they can an entire chicken?
No.
It is terrifying. Look it up. It's a whole chicken in a can. One of my friends got it, and they actually ate it. It's pre-cooked. You just unscrew the top of the can, and you flip it over, and if you wait about 2 minutes,
Oh.
that thing will just slurp right out.
Oh gosh.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Canned whole
Yeah.
chicken.
Yeah, a whole chicken in a can. What every American wants.
It's like so sloppy. And it's like it sounds like it would make a
It does. It makes a terrible noise. Viewers at home, go to your local grocer and buy yourself a canned chicken.
You know what? Usually we have turkey for Thanksgiving, but I'm gonna tell my parents, okay, we gotta get some canned chicken. Everyone can have their own canned chicken, and we'll just have that for.
You know what? Okay. So we talked about this in an episode that isn't aired, but after talking about this, I'm entertaining more the idea of a audio food review because that sounds like the most disgusting thing ever. Is a food review, but it's only the noise, and we taste test weird things like canned chicken or that other thing we talked about in that episode that doesn't exist.
Pickled pig's feet.
Right.
No, we
or
talked
that
about pickled
too.
pig's feet
Yeah.
in the episode that did exist. What?
We talked.
What
Oh
did we
yeah,
talk
there's
about?
been way other. Wow, yeah. We've talked
Yeah,
about like,
I say-
pickles.
I
Yeah,
say-
that's true.
Let's do that. We'll have taste tests. Okay, viewers, listeners, I mean, this is not a video format. Comment down below or email us at segmented.fm@gmail.com and with the subject line, food review suggestion, and then tell us what we should try on the podcast as long as
Or
it is
you can
under
tweet us.
$5.
Or if you're a patron, as long as it's edible, we will probably buy it
Oh,
and eat it.
yes, absolutely. You're paying for it. So
That's what I'm gonna say. Like,
Yeah.
really, if it's
if you're
edible and you're giving us money,
If you're a patron and it's edible, tell us, we'll eat it. As long as it's approved by the FDA. There we go. Because a lot of
Hold
things
on.
are edible.
Wasn't this supposed to be about this segment supposed to be about spam? Why don't we just taste test that next time?
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. I was gonna. Okay, next time we'll start a we'll do a podcast segment about, starting our crazy wacky food, and we'll taste test spam, and we've never had it. You better not have it or open it or smell it before then, because oh boy, we gotta do it. First experiences with spam. I've seen it in person, but I've never smelt it or anything. I've only seen it from a distance. So, and also something about spam is actually really interesting. Is one of the most popular types of sushi in Japan is spam.
Wow.
They just love spam in Japan. I don't know why.
I mean, I'm not a huge sushi fan. Like, it's good.
Oh,
but,
I love sushi. It's probably one of my favorite foods.
I don't love the taste of raw fish or most like Eastern or East Asian or Japanese food. I mean, most of it's pretty good, but I don't know. I'm just not a huge sushi guy.
So you would like sushi with spam?
That's not what I said. Don't take those words out of my mouth. Don't put those words into my mouth.
Don't put spam into your mouth. Spam sushi.
Don't put spam into my mouth. Don't put anything into my mouth or take it out of my mouth without my permission. Whew. All right.
I want to talk about spam some more, but not the spam meat, which we'll try next episode. I want to talk about spam emails, or scam emails or spam emails, or do you ever get these types of emails? The emails that are like, "Hello, I am a wealthy prince from Russia." That doesn't usually happen.
Almost never, actually.
Why do you say almost?
I actually really, maybe once or twice, but I can hardly remember any cases. I mean, for me, I always get the terrible clickbait comments that take you to a virus or an inappropriate website. Or I'll get Skype spammers. I love those. Because their algorithm actually is supposed to pick up certain keywords you send to them and then respond accordingly. So there's certain trigger words you can send them, and they'll all say the same thing. It's hilarious. I have screenshots of just the best conversations I've had with these robots. Wow, they're great. What else? Oh yeah, also there's the one time I got spammed by someone on Steam until they managed to scam me out of some money, but that's another thing. That's different. I want to hear about your email experience because I don't have that.
Okay, so I haven't gotten too many scam or spam emails, and the few that I have gotten, well, actually, there's only one that I remember that was in recent years. My parents get them all the time because they actually run their own business, so they get a lot of people let me sell you my things and whatever. But this one that I got was, it's from someone, and it just says, "I am Amina. Benefit in proposal worth millions of gold. Contact this email for details." And the thing is, it was just completely unpunctuated, no context, there was no subject, and it was just really funny. But I don't know, I just find those kind of things kind of funny because of how ridiculous they are. But another thing, just bots sending messages. So, this podcast actually goes up on SoundCloud, and I got a message on the SoundCloud, for the podcast from this guy named...
On the SoundCloud.
On the SoundCloud, yes. On the cloud with sound. From this guy named Josh Zander. And, I just checked it again. I just went to the messages.
The plot thickens. Oh,
okay,
snap.
I go back, and it says that the person I was having a conversation with, it says deleted user. So the username got deleted, or they deleted it.
Oh my goodness. I bet they got reported. And
maybe.
Now you can't find their stuff.
I can find their stuff, because, okay, here. This is what it says. From deleted user. I still have the message. It said, "Hi, segmented podcast. I was just on SoundCloud, and I found your page. I gave it a listen to a few of your songs, and was really impressed. I'm actually a talent recruiter for blah, 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 and I'd like to help get your music more exposure. This could be a good chance for you to grow your audience. Send me an email, and we'll talk further." And then he has an email. But I love the bots, especially for this, specifically this one. It's like, "Hi, segmented podcast." Not Nomich or Tendo, which is who the
I love how they have mass appeal. So they figure out what is like the bare minimum we can put so that it applies to everyone. And obviously it puts song because most of SoundCloud is people putting like their own original music.
that's what SoundCloud is for music and finding new artists. It's just so funny. And then I responded, I'm so glad you like my music. What's your favorite song? I would love to join your network. Please send me more info. Much love, Segmented Podcast. And then a few things later, I said hello, and then they never responded, unfortunately. And it looks like they got taken down. I sent an email to their thing.
Shucks.
But I used the segmented email address, which is segmented.fm@gmail.com. Email us.
Right.
And so here, I'm going to see if I can find the response. Actually, it wasn't really a response. Basically, what happened was I sent them an email, and then it auto sent me a whole thing. And, it's just like, follow all this stuff. I didn't follow that any further, but I just thought that was funny, and I wanted to share it. So, have you had any experiences with that, like with bots? Because I'm assuming so, seeing as you're, a YouTuber.
Yeah, there's one comment on a YouTube video that I thought was a pretty clever loophole. So they have, like, their channel name is like, check out my, my links in my channel or something like that. Or it was check out my Facebook or something like that. And they put some comment that's fake about, oh, watch your videos, I like it. Yeah, whatever, nobody cares, you're a bot. You click on their video, then you go to their channel. And on your channel, like, banner, the links that you put on that don't have to be certified YouTube websites. If it's a link on the video, now it has to be, which I still think is kind of silly. I really liked the old annotation system, but that's another matter. So it was a link to a website that had the same icon of whatever, website that they were referring to that's actually real and trusted. But it just said, click me. And then you click on it, and ads galore, viruses, the whole bit.
Yeah.
But wow, I thought that was really clever.
Yeah, well, there was one thing that I got that I actually almost clicked. Actually, no, I did click it, and then I freaked out. I was like, no! Someone sent me an email, and it looked really official, like an actual newsletter. And then, this is the most clever thing that I've seen for a scam email. They were like, okay, so we changed our name, and I was like, I don't know what this is for, but they never said what it specifically was before, but they were like, I'm so-and-so from so-and-so, and it looks just like an email that I get from, I don't know, like TeePublic or something. It looked like an official thing. So, what I suspect happened, nothing ever happened from me clicking it, but the unsubscribe link was the link that was the bad one.
Oh, snap.
And so I clicked it. I was like, I don't want to be subscribed to this because that's what I always do. And then I click it and I'm like, oh shoot, something happened. And then I force quit everything. And I was like, I don't know what's going to happen. And I'm not taking the risk. So that happened. Yeah, I'm currently looking through my YouTube messages thing, which is someplace no one ever goes. And there's like, I have 4.
Let's look at them.
Likely spam. But yeah, just
aren't they glorious? I love them because they're like a virus, and I don't mean that like in like, oh, they're toxic. No, I mean like a scientific like virus. Like you put it into a body, you put it into an environment, and the body tries to fight it, and it learns and it adapts and it finds ways to, go under the radar, whether that be, your immune system or white blood cells or whatever. And then it finds ways to attack you again. And it doesn't matter what happens. I mean, obviously with a real virus, eventually, you eradicate it or you die. But
or you die,
like
yes.
In general, they always find new ways to be just the worst.
Yeah.
And they never go away. And it's kind of clever, but also I can't actually like imagine a person doing it. Like I can't imagine talking to someone and being like, what do you do? Oh, I'm a banker, but in my free time, I develop scams.
Yeah.
That people click on, and I ruin their lives.
Yeah, I always it's weird because I think about like, oh, they're just robots, so it's not like actual people. But people program the robots in order to do this, and I
That's the thing, though. Oh
yeah
gosh, like the Skype bots, like half of them are like, I'm 23, female, and single. Come click on this to see my chat. And it's like,
yeah. Oh my gosh.
like a middle-aged adult male probably programmed this and had to type
Yeah.
all of this out. Yes, they're generated, and yes, they follow keywords, but he still had to write all that out with the intention of catfishing me. Like.
Yeah. There's also like the fake accounts that are just we've gotten so like 4 of our followers on the segmented SoundCloud, 4 of our 6 are just bots. So that's sad, but I always block them immediately. But at least we have a few.
But they're
if you're listening on
supporters.
SoundCloud, tell us. They're real people, trust me. They like what we're doing. But I always just block them.
I believe you.
Back to spam and like viruses and stuff. You've seen the IT crowd before, right? Or no? I sent you a clip from one and you thought it was funny.
Yes.
But there's a British sitcom called The IT Crowd, and there's one episode when one of the characters named Jen, she knows nothing about computers, and then there's the 2 nerds, Roy and Moss. So there's an episode where Jen was like, hey, can you please help me with my computer? And then he was like, yeah, sure, what's the problem? And then he looks, and there's like 1,000 pop-ups, and like a bunch of things popping up, and like opening and closing and stuff. And then he was like, Jen, your computer is infected. And she was like, no, don't do that. I like it like that. And he was like, you like it like this? It has a virus. If this was a human person, I'd shoot it in the face.
I have to fix this.
No, leave it. I have it how I like it.
How you like it? No, Jen, it's infected. If this was a human being, I'd shoot it in the face.
I just thought that was funny. I'll leave that in the description.
It's funny because that's also quite relatable. There's many people, like, it's not just a stereotype, who don't know a lot about computers. And they say, my computer's broken. They take it into Best Buy. They take it into, like, a good friend, which is a lot of times a techie person they know, which I know a lot of. And they have, like, oh my goodness, like, they have so much, like, not only malware, but, like, stuff that's supposed to fight against malware. Like, they have every single computer cleaner and blocker. And I'm like, okay, first of all, half of these are doing nothing for you. Actually, they are the malware itself. And second of all, when you have these like 60 processes running in the background, that's why your computer takes 2 hours to boot up.
Do you read Dilbert ever?
No, I mean I'm familiar with it, but
okay. Well, there's a comic strip of Dilbert, and the Dogbert, which is one of the characters, he's a dog. He tells this. He was like to the pointy haired boss, "Hey, do you want this new free program?" And he was like, "I don't know. What does it do?" And he said, "Well, it makes everything run really slowly and will potentially give you viruses." And he says, "And it's free?"
Exactly.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones. Well, we spent 20 minutes on this, so this was really refreshing to just have a conversation like the old days.
Oh, you bet.
Yeah, I really want to do more things like this where we just talk. I think we should have more segments about this. Let's get on to segment 2. This next segment is one that I thought of. I don't remember when. I just thought of it. I was like, hey, this is a good idea or whatever. It's things that I hate or things we hate about the things that we love. And in that, it's kind of hyperbole. It's not necessarily something that we love, and it's not necessarily something that we absolutely hate about it, but it's just something that we find, like, kind of, like, irking about the things that we really like.
I think
so do you want to go first?
It's a very original idea. Yeah,
it's entirely original.
Give you props for such a great idea, Noah. I really like it. I think people should discuss this amongst themselves.
I feel like you're mocking me
outside of a podcast. I'm not. I really do like it.
Okay.
So things I hate about things I love. So first of all, pretty general is the internet. I love the internet. Who doesn't love the internet? It's a great creation. You wouldn't be here without the internet. I mean, we'd be living, probably. Maybe not. Actually, that's a scary thought.
Actually, do you know what's weird to think about? The fact that I would be
What?
living without the internet, and you probably would be, but a lot of kids alive today wouldn't be around without the internet. That's super interesting, because that was never an issue 20 years ago.
Right.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
crazy. You're just
Anyway,
saying that just as a thing. I'm sorry, that was some crazy
No, it's
philosophical
fine.
moment
But
for
yeah.
me. Sorry, continue.
I love the internet. I hate it because just like we were talking about, spam. We're talking about scammers.
Yeah.
Like trolling that reaches the point of like really bad harassment. Phonies, phishers, stuff like that. Now, obviously, there's a lot less of that because every large website has like the security of like the world's largest diamond vault in the world. But still, it's still a big deal because it's anonymous. You can do, pretty much anything you want to pretty much anyone you want. But yeah, that was just my first one.
Yeah, I have one actually similar to that, and it's I really like the internet. I like YouTube and stuff, and I like Reddit and other places that you can share your thoughts and whatever. But I hate freebooters. Do you know what this term means? Freebooting. It originated on the podcast Hello Internet by Brady Heron, and it's become indoctrinated into the just the world. And freebooting is basically when you take somebody else's video and you use it as your own, and you don't give credit to them, or sometimes you give credit.
Oh
to them.
yeah,
Freebooting
is the worst.
It's the worst,
especially on Facebook.
Oh my gosh, that's why I stopped
from
using
YouTube.
Facebook.
Wow.
It's full of freebooters, and I can't stand it.
Well, in the great wild west of the internet, back in the early 2000s, that was a huge problem. If you posted anything on like Newgrounds, that was instantly on every other site with someone else trying to grab that.
Yeah,
ad
if it was
revenue.
good.
Right. Yeah.
If it was worth stealing, it
not.
already was stolen. So
Right.
okay. So what's your next one?
I have some more. So the internet one was kind of just like a freedom thing. Like there's tons of great things that you love because they give you freedom, but you hate them because other people have the freedom to do bad things. This is just more of a social thing. Like I think this isn't even really a complaint, but like I love video games, but I hate their social connotation. You could say that with almost every like form of entertainment. You love it because it entertains you or whatever, and you see a lot of depth in it or whatever you get out of it. But there's almost always some terribly negative connotation. And of course, for something like video games, it's gotten so much better. Like nobody's like, ew, video games anymore. Go back to the 90s and be a different story.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. There's not much to say about that one. I do have one more though.
Okay, I also have another one, but I'll do mine.
All right, then go ahead.
First.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
You know what I really love? I love Lego. I love the brand of Lego. But recently, I've decided Lego is just, I am starting to hate it, and mainly because they're making a lot of things and making a lot of money off of it. But my issue is all the different custom pieces for all these. So basically, it limits your creativity. Like there's like special hair pieces for all the Star Wars characters. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, they're custom pieces that can't be used for anything else.
Right. In order to make things more and more accurate, they're creating custom pieces that are unusable in other areas.
Context.
Now, I would argue, this is such a crazy thing to argue about, but when they relaunched their Bionicle series, I think that was 2-3 years back, something like that.
Yeah.
I think
It wasn't
they did a
actually
really
called
good job.
Bionicles.
There
It was
wasn't?
called like Hero something. I don't know.
Oh no! I'm not talking
Bionicles are
about
the
Hero
best.
Factory. No.
Hero
After
Factory.
Hero Factory, they relaunched a line of Bionicles.
Oh really?
And they did a really good job, of creating new pieces that you can use again that aren't custom specific to that character. They created a whole new armature system that was partly already instated from the last Hero Factory, lineup. But I think they really perfected it, and
Honestly, I think Lego Bionicle is always a good idea and always a cool thing, and I was sad when it got discontinued because those were specific characters, but you could really take them and make them whatever the heck you wanted.
Right. And
yeah.
I think some people have a similar issue with Minecraft, actually. There's a lot of blocks or whatever that they add, which are cool, and are like, wow, it's this new cool thing that you get from this cool place, and it's just like, that's so specific, no one can use that creatively, as amazing as it may look, or however you get it, or, whatever.
Yeah, I guess. Well, actually,
I don't
in regards
know.
to Minecraft, there's been a lot of, like, every block has been used in a way that wasn't, they can be used for, like, things, never mind. People use Minecraft blocks very creatively, especially with, like, armor stands and stuff. But yeah.
That's true. That's a bit of a harsh statement. I can't really think of a block that I haven't seen used in another purpose.
Yeah.
I think I just kind of.
It was the
Well, I
first
think that's
example
my
that came
biggest
to your
problem. Well, no, I thought of that because I was thinking of Minecraft mods, because I know most of them are like that.
Yeah. Mods don't count, though, really. That's
but
like
yeah,
off-brand
anyway,
Legos.
Just kind of a. Yeah. Oh,
Anyway.
goodness. Don't even get me started on Mega Bloks.
Oh my gosh, those things are the freaking worst. And they do what Lego does even worse, because they make things that are literally just that. Like the new Roblox.
Every
Mega
single
Bloks.
thing is a custom piece.
Yes, every piece is a custom piece, except for the ones that are like bricks. But guess what? Those are still just bad quality bricks. So the issue with Mega Block is, or like the Mega Bloks, is that they're making toys that can be made of anything, but they just happen to be like Lego, but worse.
Exactly.
Let's just not segmented. Sponsored by Lego.
Anyway.
Okay, what's your last thing?
Moving on, I have one more of things I hate about things I love, and that's I know I talk about this a lot, but there's a lot of mediums on YouTube that, because of the algorithm or the difficulty of finding the audience, I was going to talk about animation, because I love animation because it's such an amazing, vibrant form of of storytelling. But I mean, not only does it take so long, but I mean, I'm okay with things taking a long time. Along with that, triangle we talked about in our old podcast of having time, money, or quality. I'm okay with things taking time, but because of that, it's really hard for independent groups or animators to make money, or to do well, because it takes so much time and work and energy, and I just
Patreon.com/segmentedfm.
So that's my last bit.
That was good. I like that segment a lot more than I was thinking, and it struck up some good discussion. On to segment 3. This is gonna be a short segment, but I just want to take time to appreciate the patrons on Patreon. Malcolm Spencer, who has been with us before this podcast even started. Actually, let's talk about him. So, this wasn't planned, but
As if we don't talk enough about Malcolm Spencer.
we really don't. On this podcast, we don't. On the last podcast we did, we mentioned him like
true.
every other episode, but we haven't mentioned him like at all except for the first episode. Malcolm Spencer is someone who found Tendo, actually, and like left a paragraph on every single video that he did, essentially. Gosh. And then
it was a YouTuber's dream.
Yes, and it was awesome, and it was all great constructive criticism. And also, when I met Tendo in real life for the first time, we ate lunch, then we went back to his house, and he, like, one of the first things that he showed me was Malcolm Spencer, and he told me about it, and he showed me the comments that he did on like every video, and just, it was so cool. And yeah, it's basically, I don't know, I think Malcolm Spencer is just a great, really cool person, and he, ever since he started supporting us on Patreon, I don't know, I wouldn't expect anything less from him, if that makes sense. Because
but yet he continues to impress us
more and more. And actually, he gave us 2 suggestions for the improv story. So next time we do that, we'll have our things, and they'll, and they'll be dedicated to Malcolm Spencer. He's just a cool person. And anyway, and then also definitely not Tendo's brother, which I don't know if I should mention that he actually is your brother or not.
What are you talking about? His name is literally
Definitely
totally not Tendo's brother.
Right, I'm not going to mention that he's not actually
Goodness
his brother.
gracious.
Because he's not his brother. He's not. Because he's definitely not Tendo's brother. But also, just thank you to you. I'd say your name, but I don't know if you want that on the podcast, so I'm not going to. But actually, the video that we recorded at your house, your brother, which is, dang it, I can't say it. Definitely not Tendo's brother. He filmed us having a conversation behind our backs, and we didn't realize it was going on, but I'm really thankful for him doing that. So thank you. I don't know, I said a lot of things about you guys, and I wasn't expecting to, but we really appreciate it.
But we love you.
We love you. Tendo may or
means
may
a
not
lot.
love one of them a little more for some specific biased reason, but I don't know.
Yeah, maybe because he comments on all my Boom, get it? Anyway, give us your money. It means I have to pay Noah less rent every day to live in his basement. It really helps out a lot. I can afford a lot more ho-hos. Noah can, he doesn't have to go to his job as much.
Because we're making
coal
$7
factory.
a month that Patreon then takes 10% of. But still, it's not 10%. It's not 10%, but we're making about $7 a month. But also, if we reach that $30 a month, don't forget, we'll eat that sauce, that spicy hot sauce. Oh, that'll be fun.
Oh, you know
that'll be so fun. I think we should put it on some spam.
Speaking of which,
Yeah?
I did get an email the other day that said, oh yeah, your order probably won't be shipped until another week. Thanks.
When was this email?
So it should be shipping within the next 2 or 3 days, I think.
Okay.
Shipping out of where it's coming from. And keep in mind, I ordered this 3 months back? 2
2 months back.
It was
2 months back.
September.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then it's a good thing we still haven't gotten that $30
So
a
get
month.
going.
Oh yeah, we
got
I don't know, but basically, support us on Patreon. It really helps, and we're grateful for every dollar we get. Patreon.com/segmentedfm, no spaces. Link in the show notes description, and I will catch you guys there. That doesn't make sense. I was kind of doing a YouTube outro, but that was just out of a muscle memory. I wasn't actually
right. Yeah.
Oops.
The muscle memory of your vocal cords, of course.
No, I mean
My favorite muscle.
never mind.
I know what you mean. Habit.
It's like a habit.
Of course
I still do it to this day. The few times of the podcast I've accidentally almost said leave a like if you enjoyed, and don't and next time I'll see you. But seriously, if you go back, you could see I took it out. But so many episodes I've almost ended it like that, and I haven't made a YouTube video where I said that in over a year and a half. I don't know why, but every time I'm ending something where I'm talking to an audience, I'm always like, don't forget to like it if you would like, and subscribe because I'm awesome. Okay, could you imagine if that was my slogan? Subscribe because I'm awesome.
That's a good one.
That's a really great one, not pretentious at all. Segment 4. Basically, I asked Tendo, hey, do you know any good jokes that have a setup and
I
a
said
story?
no.
And he said, yes, I have one, but I don't know. I think you said you hate it. One moment. Here.
I know one, and I despise it.
I don't know why he despises it, but I have a few that I want to share because I really appreciate them. Here, you said, I asked, do you know any long jokes or jokes that have a long setup, kind of like a story? And he said, yes, and I hate it. So, he's going to tell it to us today. But before that, I'm going to tell you a story. So, there's this trucker, and he's making a delivery in this big old semi-truck from Silicon Valley to Seattle, and he stops in Nevada for, pulling over to the side, getting some gas. He comes into the cafe, into the bar area of it, and then this guy comes in with a pocket protector, glasses with tape over it, a total nerd. The bartender takes out a shotgun, shoots him, takes him, and lays him out on the bar. The trucker says, What was that? And the bartender says, oh, it's always open season on nerds. So, basically, the truck driver takes a sip of his coffee that he got, gives it back to the bartender. He says, good day. He goes back into this truck, and unfortunately, when going down the road, there's this deer that comes out, and the truck driver, he swerves out of the way to try to dodge it, but the truck falls over, a bunch of computers spill out, and then all of a sudden, a bunch of nerds come over, and they come in, taking all these electronics, and he pulls out his shotgun, and he keeps shooting all of them because they're stealing his merchandise. Then the sheriff comes in, and he says, hey, I'm going to have to write you up. And he says, wait, I thought it was always open season on nerds. And he says, well, it is, but you can't bait them.
It's a good one.
I really like that one.
Good.
I'm sorry. Was that a bad one? I'm gonna take that as
no.
yes.
That's a good one. I mean, gosh. So here's the thing though. This one, when it was told to me, I believe it actually took 12 or 13 minutes to tell the whole
Holy
story.
Toledo. Okay.
And it was terrible. So here's what I did. I forgot a few details of it. And so I looked it up online and I found it, and it's like 4 paragraphs. So you know what?
Joke.
I'll just No. It's like huge, like size like
Yeah.
24
I know, that's
font.
a long joke.
It's not okay. I'm just gonna tell it from directly where I found it online because it's way better than the 13-minute. So somewhere there's an island named Trid. On this island, the Trids were mostly very happy. But on one end of the island, there was a very tall mountain. If a Trid ever dared to climb the mountain, he didn't get very far because a giant lived on the mountain and would kick the Trid off his mountain. One day, a rabbi visited the island and went exploring. He was nearing the mountain, but a Trid stopped him and said, "You don't want to go up there. A giant lives there and he'll kick you off." The rabbi thought about it and said, "Maybe I can talk to him." So the rabbi started up the mountain, stopping every little while to look around. He saw no sign of the giant. As he reached the top, he stopped again and looked around, but didn't see the giant. Finally, at the top of the mountain, he spied a giant sitting under a tree, and the giant turned and saw the rabbi. The rabbi said, "Are you going to kick me off the mountain?" The giant replied, "Silly rabbi, kicks are for Trids." And that's the point where you walk away.
Yeah.
You don't talk to that person ever again.
I was gonna tell that joke, and then realized that it was kind of over. People probably wouldn't understand it.
It's terrible. I hate it. I hate it not just because it's a pun on a cereal franchise or whatever. But also because the person that told it, what they did was they built up this backstory, or maybe I believe they'd been told by someone else. But anyway, you get the idea. They built up this backstory for the Trids. They lived in this village, and all they ever did was sat around and stared at each other. And then one of them went out to venture down a path, and then he saw all these things, and then there's always the punchline of, but he did nothing because all that Trids do is sit around and stare at each other all day. And then he goes through a forest, and then he goes to a mountain, and he climbs up the mountain, he gets kicked off, and then he goes back to the village, and then he tells another person, and then they go through the whole bit. They retell that whole piece of the joke. And then after about the third one, the whole village goes there, and then they keep getting kicked. And then there's a rabbi that goes there. And the rabbi, he goes back to wherever he lives in some town. And then that goes on for 3 days. And then he finally goes up. And then the giant is like, "Silly rabbi, kicks are for Trids." And it was excruciating. It was the worst. Also, you should look up The Longest Joke in the World. It takes hours to read. It's like a book. And then it ends with a really bad pun. So that's also a good one. Because most of it is completely unrelated and frustrating.
Yeah, Lost in the Desert, longest joke in the world. But yeah, I was gonna tell that one, but I think the stories that have big setups are kind of the best ones. Except if it's 13 minutes, that's a long time. But if it's 2 minutes, I think it's good because it's you're waiting for the punchline for even longer, but we obviously have opposing opinions on that. But I don't know, I just really like them. Another one that I have is, so these two guys are going hunting, and they go over to the pilot, and they say, hey, can you fly us to the island where we usually go moose hunting? And he says, yeah, sure, absolutely. And so they go fly into the island. He drops them off, and he says, okay, guys, so basically, I can take you guys here. I can pick you up, take you home, but you can only carry one moose. If it was more than one moose, it's going to be way too heavy, and we won't even be able to fly off. And so they say, okay, that's totally fine. So he comes back a week later. They have 2 moose on the shore where he's picking them up, and he says, hey, you got to get rid of one of them because I can only take one. They say, oh, come on, the pilot that took us last year let us take both of them, and and then he was like, okay, well, fine, because pilots aren't gonna say, well, if somebody else can do it, I'm not gonna be made a fool of course I'm gonna oblige. So they get both the moose in, they get into the plane, they start going up, and then the pilot's thinking, yeah, I think this will actually work. And they go, and they're about to clear the mountain, but unfortunately they smash right into the cliff. And then the 2 hunters, they're like, yes, 50 feet higher than last year.
Oh my goodness. That's a good one.
I really like that one. These are all jokes that my father told me. And then
I like that one because it's got some shock humor in it. It's not just a pun.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I think those are the best kinds of jokes. They're not just like stupid puns.
That was a great segment. We should totally do that again. I was on the edge of my seat.
On the edge of your sheets again? You seem to almost
on the
say
edge
that
of my
every single
sheets.
time. Every time. We said this before.
I have a slight wisp, okay?
But
Don't
only
make
when
money.
saying on the edge of my seat. Sheet. Oh, come on. No, I'm done. Hey, what did the whatever. I forgot what I was gonna say. Anyway, let's go to the segment 5. Segment 5. We're actually gonna play a game, but this game is not like the association game where it's just playing until we stop playing. This
It's until
is a
you
game.
lose,
We're
Noah.
Oh snap! Oh
I'm
man!
sorry.
Oh boy! Zooey mama. Okay, so basically, this is a game called Ghost, and one of us is gonna start with a letter. The next person says another letter, and the goal is to win. How you win is by making the other person spell out a word. So, for example, if I said P, Nintendo would say,
Oh.
and then I would say X. But I was like, oh no, wait, I just spelled out a word. Pox. So the issue is,
Dun,
I
dun,
just accidentally
dun.
spelled out a word. So I would have lost that round. But if I said S, pos, or pos is not an actual word. So then he would have to say something else. And basically, if there's a word that's like P, and then you said X or something, then I could challenge him and make him tell me a word that starts with PX. And if he can think of one, then I lose. Or if he can't think of one, then he loses. So basically, that's a
the
way.
goal is to not be the one to finish the word.
Yeah, and also you can't just say PX because no words start with PX. So you want to do a word. Yeah, you want to do a letter that could potentially have more, but you don't want to accidentally spell out a word.
But it can't have a word inside of a word or be a compound word because that means they have to end it before they can continue.
Yes.
Is that true?
I think so.
Dang it.
But
I wanted to be able to keep making longer and longer words, but no, because then at some point. Anyway. So,
Okay.
yeah, I guess we're going to play this. And we're going to see.
Basically, have you ever played the game Pig or Horse for basketball?
Yeah.
We go until we spell out the word ghost. So if you lose one, you get a G, then an HOST, and then we'll see who wins. Okay. So I'm going to start with the letter I.
N.
That was a word. That's in.
Dang it. I got
So
a G.
you have a G. Okay. See, it's harder than you think. G.
Is it? Except that I picked
Yeah.
Sorry, G.
G.
E.
U.
S.
Wait, no, I didn't know what
Wait,
letter
no,
you
no,
said.
dang it.
Wait, go back. Okay, let's start that round over. G.
E.
S.
T.
I think jest is a word. I'm challenging you. Jest.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
With a G?
Oh!
Dang it, what does it mean?
Wait. Nope. Wait. Define jest. One moment. Because I think if you can jest someone, I think it's a verb. But I might be wrong. A tale of adventures, especially a romance.
Oh,
So-
but it's in Middle English, Old French, and Latin.
Yes, it doesn't count.
Goodness.
I'm going to say I get a point. So we both have G's. Okay. You can start this round.
Alright. Oh, good
And
old
you gotta
D.
answer faster. E.
P.
Faster. T.
Isn't that an abbreviation? Goodness. A.
So we have D, E, P, T, A. M.
Goodness, what is that? P. Y.
I'm gonna challenge you. Tell me a word that starts with those.
I just googled it because there's nothing that is Deptam.
Then you should have challenged me. Because I should have challenged you before. There's no words that start with that, so therefore, you get a point.
Oh, so you have to. What? Okay, so what is it? Is it challenging? Like if they know? Oh, I get it. I got it. I just figured it out. Okay.
So you have a G and an H. I have a G. Okay.
A G.
So,
Oh, G.
I'm gonna start. L.
Oh.
G. Ah, dang it. Okay, I just spelled out log. Anyway, so you have to. The thing is, you have to answer fast, so you can, have
Fast.
You have to answer fast. So the first thing that came to me was G, and that unfortunately spelled a word. That's the whole point of this.
All right,
but if
got
you
it.
don't,
Fast as possible.
yeah, if you don't mention or you don't point out the fact that I just spelled a word, it doesn't matter. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Your turn to start.
All right.
We both have a GH.
A.
B.
E.
M.
Can I challenge you?
Yes. A. B. E. M.
Do you know a word?
I don't know.
Top of your head. No?
Nope. Dang it. I couldn't think. I feel like I had a word, but I didn't. Okay. Z.
I.
T.
Fast. Boom, that's a word.
I know it's a word. Okay.
You start
I
this
have
time.
GHOS. He has GH. If I have a T, I lose and he wins. Okay. We're gonna start with another one. Q.
U.
I.
E.
N.
Can I challenge you?
Yes. Q. U. I. E. N. Quience. I was trying to trap you, but it
Just
didn't
go
work.
get a check on Quience.
Quience is not a word. Well, it looks like you won this game of Ghosts, but just you wait.
Even though I knew less of the rules, came less prepared and probably no less words.
What do you mean
somehow
less
was-
prepared? I feel like you can't really be prepared for this game. You just play it.
Yeah, well, just look down at the massive chart you drew right there, Nella. To figure
I drew a
out
massive chart?
to mastermind your way through this. Yeah,
Did I?
I can see it through the. No, you didn't. I have no idea.
Okay, well.
I just.
So that was the game of Ghosts. We have another game, but I don't really know. We'll maybe play that later, but not now.
Maybe
Tendo, finally, just take us out.
So here you are. You are a Trid. Nobody loves you. Everybody hates you. You're kicked out of where you live, the island of the Trids, something stupid like that. And you find a mountain. Wow, look, there's a mountain. And uh you walk up the mountain. It's very steep, but there's no gravity in this world. And you get to the top, and there's giant. And what happens is the giant he smashes you, and you're dead.
Wait, I thought
That's
cakes
it.
were for Trids.
You die.
Oh,
That's it.
fair enough.
Go home, kids. Life isn't about a happy ending.